How many have heard the term Wendigo? Nice. How about Nanabozo? Okay. According to the Algonquin-speaking indigenous culture of the Great Lakes and northern woodlands, Wendigo is a malevolent, cannibalistic spirit that symbolizes insatiable greed, consumerism, and the destructive exploitation of nature. It represents an economy that prioritizes profit over life and environment. And it is traditionally depicted as a giant, emaciated creature with a heart made of ice because it lacks emotion, empathy, a moral compass, and cares only for itself. It sounds a lot like someone else I know. Nanabozo is a cultural hero and shapeshifter among the Ojibwe or Anishinaabe peoples. It's a central character in the Ojibwe creation myths who is sent by the Great Spirit to impart knowledge about nature and survival to the Ojibwe people. Nanabozo symbolizes resilience, humor, and the importance of living in harmony with nature. Over time, stories of Nanabozo were woven into American mythology, like when Nanabozo confronts and defeats Paul Bunyan. Did you know? I did not know. Paul Bunyan was a mythic logger, known for tearing down trees across North America. I always saw him as a hero until I read this story. Where was I? Moving across, yeah. In the story, Nanabozo confronts Bunyan in Minnesota after he has already deforested much of the eastern part of the country. He tells Bunyan to stop logging because of the damage he's doing to the land. Bunyan refuses, and a fight ensues for 40 days and 40 nights. Nothing biblical about that. Eventually, Nanabozo takes Bunyan down by swinging a 3-foot fish at him. Bunyan loses his balance, go figure, and falls to the ground, at which point Nanabozo jumps on Bunyan and begins pulling out his beard hairs one by one until he agrees to stop logging in the area. And according to legend, that's why the statue of Paul Bunyan in Lake Bemidji, Minnesota, does not have a beard and looks westward for more timber, while a statue of Nanabozo stands across the street doing this. I could show you pictures if we had an easier to use screen. But Kirsten Bradley notes in Milkwood magazine, "We are all well versed in the collective damage previous and current generations have done to our ecosystems and communities around the world. It is time for us to wake up, accept responsibility for our actions, and learn new ways of being in relation to each other and the earth." Permaculture offers a way to live in a functional, meaningful, sustainable relationship with natural ecosystems. Though it is unrecognized in academia and unsupported by government and business, permaculture is a global movement moving toward a more sustainable future. It is inspired by indigenous wisdom, knowledge, and science. Permaculture regenerates landscapes, like the landowner who restored the buried brook by its previous owner to grow more corn. Permaculture was developed by Bill Mollison and David Holmgren in the 1970s. Mollison, an Australian researcher, author, scientist, teacher, and biologist, won the Right Livelihood Award in 1981 and founded the Permaculture Institute in Tasmania. Holmgren is an environmental psychologist in Tasmania who recognized the unsustainable nature of modern industrialized methods of growing food that rely on non-renewable resources, mono-agriculture, and pesticides that poison our land and water. Permaculture is based on an ethic of care for the earth, for the people, and for our future. It is a non-hierarchical socioeconomic structure that does not exploit human labor or rely on fossil fuels. It reduces our ecological footprint through shared resources and moves us toward a low-carbon energy descent. It rejects the industrial growth model and acknowledges we have only one Earth to share with all living things. Permaculture practices include the capture and storage of natural energy, such as sun, wind, heat, rainwater, biomass, and natural fertilizers, with the goal of producing zero waste. It generates renewable resources through seed collection and storage, planting perennial crops, and soil conservation. Other agricultural methods include no-dig and no-till farming and gardening, companion planting like indigenous people do with the Three Sisters, and herbal spirals that provide a variety of soil conditions in a small space. And these are great if you only got like a postage stamp yard. A spiral is composed of a round pile of stones packed with earth at the base and sand at the top, and possibly a small pond on the south side. The soil is naturally wetter at the base and drier at the top, warmer on the sunnier side, and cooler and drier on the north side. And it creates a perfect environment to grow herbs. Compost is locally sourced from farm animals and the use of composting toilets. Rainwater collection irrigates crops and provides drinking water for livestock. Recycled gray water from sinks, showers, tubs, washing machines, and dishwashers is used to flush toilets and reduces household fresh water usage by 30%. When the Soviet Union collapsed and withdrew from Cuba in 1991, residents there suffered severe food shortages. And out of necessity, Cuba adopted permaculture and agroecological practices and is now a global leader in urban, not suburban, not rural, urban self-sufficiency farming. With over 8,000 urban farms in Havana alone, Cuba provides fresh local produce to 60% of its population. They make use of roofs, rooftop gardening, front yard, backyard gardening. Wherever empty, vacant lots become garden plots. As Unitarian Universalists, it's important for us to remember permaculture is more than an alternative method for growing food. It is an ethic of care for the earth, for its people, and for our future. The philosophy of permaculture is based on a reciprocal relationship with the Earth's natural ecosystems and teaches us to live in harmony with the interdependent web of which we are a part. Now, the really cool thing is, while I was writing this, one of you sent me an email and said, "Oh my God, there's going to be a free online webinar hosted by the Permaculture Education Institute in May from May 20th to May 25th. So if you'd like to learn more, just go to permacultureeducationinstitute.org and register for free. In his book, The Essence of Permaculture, Holmgren tells us to provide for human needs within ecological limits will require a cultural revolution greater than any of the tumultuous changes of this last century. May it be so.